you know, everybody's looking for every advantage that they can, and it's rivalry. It was there before I ever started racing. It was there during my career, and it still exists today. And it's always a pretty tough sale to put two top guys in the same team and expect everything is going to be complete harmony.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. We were talking today about the passing of the great Phil Reed, who was a top TT, 8 times TT winner and 8 times world champion. And that thing about two guys and their rivalry, he had that famous rivalry with his teammate Bill Ivey when they were at Yamaha. And it's exactly as you described, John. It was determination by both individuals to be winning out there on the track.
Well, I'm sure, as you guys know, Phil Reed was his career was way before I was born, but the one thing I loved about Phil the most is when I rode for Agostini, I was able to give him a lot of stick. Because they were great rivals, but maybe they weren't the best of friends, but yeah, it was just funny to tease Aggo all the time about Phil being better than him.
Yeah, it's funny that I had the pleasure of interviewing Aggo at the Scottish Motorcycle Show in 2014, and we talked about his rivalry with Phil. And in spite of the fact that they might not have been best buddies, the respect he had for Phil was without question, you know.
Oh, no, absolutely. And it's not that the guys, you know, we don't respect each other. It's everybody's there, at least the top guys are there for one reason, and that's to win. A lot of pressure from the sponsors, manufacturers, and, you know, I know during my time it's so performance-based that, you know, if there are no results, it means no job. So it can get pretty aggressive at times.
Yeah, and it's certainly in the era you rode, with the way the bikes were evolving and the speed and the competition between the factories was intense.
Well, there was a lot going on with development, but the thing I remember the most is, you know, when you had Doohan, Rainey, Schwantz, Gardner, Lawson, and me. So that's 6 people, but when you look at the podium, there's only 3 places. So just to make the podium, you had to knock out 3 of the real heavyweights.
Yeah.
That was a tall order. Yeah. So it was, it was very competitive, and I'm grateful to be able to have passed through that time and raced all these guys, because it's something that I'll remember forever.
I'll bet you will. And you'll remember forever your first World Championship. Tell us about the 250 World Championship on the Yamaha. And am I right in thinking it was a Kenny Roberts team?
Yes. I started my professional career initially, I rode 1 year in Superbike for Yamaha America in 1986, but from that point on I was with Kenny, and very grateful, he spent a lot of time with me, teaching me, training me, because his goal was to come to Europe, and of course it's like what they do now, in Spain and Italy. They're grooming these kids at 3, 4, 5 years old to be the next champions, and so, and the same way they do in every country. So of course, Kenny being American, he wanted to try to bring some American guys along to